This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 24th day of November in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has combined the list of persons shortlisted by the government and the opposition GCOM commissioners for the position of Chief Election Officer. The commission will meet on Friday to further discuss the integrated list and finalize the list of persons to be interviewed for the top GCOM position. Speaking with News Source this afternoon, opposition-nominated GCOM Commissioner Vincent Alexander said based on his understanding, Friday's meeting will address finalizing the list of persons to be interviewed.
I know that the chairman has sent us a list of persons which list should be discussed at the meeting on Friday to determine the final list of persons to be interviewed. The chairman has sent us a list, which is an integrated list of the submissions by the commissioners, and she has indicated that she wishes us to meet on Friday to discuss that list and to make a determination of who finally will be interviewed.
Meanwhile, Alexander also rubbished a report in another section of the press which claimed that the opposition commissioners do not plan to interview candidates that they did not submit. He said there is no such position and the report is erroneous.
We have not objected to interviewing anyone. What we have said is that the persons to be interviewed must be the persons who have met the criteria. So we haven't said, look, we are not looking at your names. We will look at all names against the background of the criteria, and if they don't meet the criteria, we don't feel that they should be interviewed.
Government-nominated Commissioner at GCOM says Gunraj also spoke to News Source this afternoon. Mr. Gunraj said his understanding of the integrated list sent to the commissioners by the GCOM chairperson is that it represents the list of persons to be interviewed, and it is now only up to the commission to decide on that interviewing process.
I don't know that the list requires any finalization. What I believe is that the list represents persons who were suggested by the opposition commissioners, and it represents persons who were shortlisted by Commissioner Shadiq. Myself and Commissioner Narayan did not submit a list. Now that that integrated list has been provided to us, it is my expectation that we move to the interviews. My understanding of the meeting of Friday is to determine the modus, the timing, how we will conduct the interviews, the evaluation process, etc.
And so once it reaches that stage, you believe it's time to move into the interviews?
I do. We just have to determine how and when we're doing them.
The opposition commissioner submitted the names of the 3 foreign applicants to be shortlisted for the GCOM top job, while Commissioner Shadiq, on behalf of the government side, submitted the names of the same 3 foreigners along with 3 local persons, including 2 current GCOM staffers and the former GCOM staffer for the CEO position. Commissioner Gunraj today said he also believes that only the persons who meet the requirements and fit the criteria for the position should be interviewed.
Well, I will only want to interview persons who meet the requirements of GCOM in the advertisement. And if of course there is any protracted debate or dilatory tactics in relation to determining who is qualified or not, that'll be another story, which I prefer to not to preempt, but to deal with it if and when it arises.
The Elections Commission has found itself facing a slowdown in its operations because of the absence of a chief elections officer and other key GCOM personnel. Almost 20 persons initially applied for the CEO position, but that number was reduced as the 2 sides of the commission submitted their shortlisted candidates. GCOM has been without the chief election officer since August, after the commission by a majority vote terminated the contracts for the last CEO, Keith Lowenfield, his deputy, and the returning officer for Region 4. The absence of the key personnel along with other factors has resulted in local government elections for this year no longer being possible. More news coming up in just a moment.
I'm feeling it. You know it? That Christmassy feeling? Friend, I'm ready for everything. All the decorations and lights. Bring sipping on all the Christmas goodness. And I heard GTT is giving away millions in cash and prizes for the season. It just doesn't get any better. Multiple draws, multiple chances to win, live radio giveaways of cash, grocery vouchers, phone credit, and more. Free data, free calls, and free accessories with the purchase of every handset. Sign up, top up, pay any GTT bill or purchase a handset to get a chance to celebrate with GTT and MMG. Together we celebrate, together we win. GTT, together we rise.
The light on your face, no mask will hide.
Feel the joy burn deep inside.
Let's have a great Christmas this year.
You, me, and Republic Bank, my dear.
Whatever you need, light up your Christmas with Republic Bank and get a chance to win $825,000 in cash prizes. Plus, get a chance to give a family a Christmas hamper in your name. Log on to republicguyana.com for more details. Let's light up Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
For too long, Guyanese have been left behind. For too long, the small man couldn't get up. Well, things are about to change. Something is coming, and it's big. And I'm not talking about the oil. Something that should have happened a long time ago, and it's finally here. FIZURO. Follow us on Facebook and join the revelation on November 28th.
Jungle Jam, Jungle Jam,
Jungle Jam,
find as many as you can. Jungle Jam,
Jungle Jam,
the animals are waiting. Monkeys, giraffes,
dinosaurs,
real excitement in a chocolate bar. Elephant, toucan,
jaguar.
which ones will you find? Young in the Jungle Jam,
Jungle Jam,
find as many as you can. Jungle Jam,
Jungle Jam,
which ones will you find? Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty. Them baked.
Baked with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you Dembake. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of Dembake. Dembake, healthy, wholesome living.
Mom, what are you doing with GPL on your list?
Child, you forgot I have to pay GPL?
You got time with GPL?
I have to keep these lights on. The customers who think in that manner and refuse to honor their obligation to GPL are obviously not playing their part in ensuring quality service delivery. So, I will continue to pay my GPL bill on time, every time.
I recognize the value of your point, Mom. You were right.
Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobile Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. Incumbent chairman of the People's National Congress Reform, Valdo Lawrence, has decided not to run at the upcoming party congress for the positions of party leader and chairman. According to a close associate of Ms. Lawrence and party member James Bond, the chairman has already made it clear that she will not seek re-election to the office of chairman or election to the office of party leader at this time. Efforts to contact Ms. Lawrence for a comment proved unsuccessful. News source was told that she was involved in the chairing of the party's Central Executive Committee today. Lawrence was elected to the position of party chairman at the last party congress in 2018. She was recently nominated to contest for all the top positions in the party, including the positions of leader and chairman. She has told some of her close supporters that she does not plan to run for any of the posts and will continue to serve the party. In the last several months, Ms. Lawrence has kept a relatively low profile, even after taking up the position of acting party leader when the incumbent leader, David Granger, proceeded on leave. The current Central Executive Committee of the PNC has been at loggerheads with Mr. Granger, accusing him of running a one-man show in the party and ignoring various decisions of the Central Executive Committee. Mr. Granger did not pick up any nominations for the upcoming elections and is unlikely to return from his leave before the 11th of December Party Congress and elections. The party chairman, Walter Lawrence, was at one time seen as the next leader of the party, but the race for party leader has become crowded over the past few months, with a total of 7 persons, including Lawrence, being nominated for the position of leader, and a total of 16 persons being nominated for the position of chairman. Ms. Lawrence has not endorsed anyone for the party leader position, and it's unclear whether she will make any endorsements before party delegates cast their votes in December. Let's tell you now that the Guyana Trades Union Congress has written to the President requesting that the $10 billion which was approved by the National Assembly this year for increases in pay to public servants be granted to the public servants. The GTUC has rejected the imposition of that 7% increase by the government and has noted that although $10 billion was budgeted and passed for the 2021 increases, the recent 7% increase only amounts to $4.2 billion, leaving the remaining $5.8 billion unaccounted for. In the letter, GTUC General Secretary Lincoln Lewis informed the President that the union held discussions with the main unions for public servants, the Guyana Teachers Union and the Guyana Public Service Union, on the recently announced 7% increase by government, and both of those unions have rejected the pay hike. Mr. Lewis told the President that it is not unreasonable to demand that the monies approved by the National Assembly be paid for the purpose so directed, which would see an increase slightly above 14% for public servants. He explained that Guyana is now an oil economy, and the traditional economy is no longer an argument, and the low-wage structure must now be a thing of the past. When concerns were expressed back in February about increases for public servants, the Vice President Bharat Jagdeo and a number of government ministers pointed out that the increases were covered in the budget as part of a $10 billion allocation under the revision of wages and salaries. The GTUC said it expects to hear from the President by the close of business on Friday, and it is willing to meet with him. Since the announcement of the 7% increase by the finance minister, the government has been scrambling to justify and defend that 7% increase after 2 years. The unions representing the workers have said that a 7% increase is an insult since there were no increases granted in 2020. So that 7% really represents a 3.5% increase for 2020 and a 3.5% increase for 2021. Local conglomerate Banks TIH Limited has signed a new 3-year agreement with the General Workers Union for a new wages package and other benefits for employees of the company. Under the new agreement, employees of Banks TIH Limited will now receive an initial 9% across-the-board increase for the first year, and 5% for the second year, and 3% for the third year of the 3-year agreement. Human Resources Director at Banks TIH, Andrew Carto, expressed gratitude to the union for the cordial and professional way in which the negotiations were conducted over a 3-week period. He said he's happy to say that the two sides were able to arrive at a consensus that created the new 3-year agreement, which highlights the increases, benefits, and allowances which will be applicable to employees of the company for the next 3 years. The General Secretary of the GWU, Pancham Singh, said the union is pleased with the agreement, explaining that the negotiations were done virtually in light of COVID-19 and both parties showed mutual respect during the consultations. He said Banks TIH Limited and the union have a very long and cordial relationship. The Ministry of Labour has commended both parties for negotiating an amicable agreement. Guyana's COVID-19 death toll reached 980 today as the Ministry of Health reported on the death of a fully vaccinated 55-year-old man from the East Berbice quarantine region. The Region 6 area has seen a sudden increase in COVID-19 related deaths over the past few weeks, triggering concern of health officials. Meanwhile, the country recorded 79 new cases of the virus in the past 24 hours, pushing the total number of active cases in the country to 1,797, with 75 of those persons hospitalized across the country. There are 12 persons in the COVID-19 intensive care unit. Health officials continue to encourage persons to get vaccinated to protect themselves against the virus. Persons who are partially vaccinated with one dose of one of the vaccines are also being encouraged to return for that second dose shot to become fully vaccinated.
We have completed 397,612 doses for adults. This is first dose. That's now about 77.5% of our adult population. And second dose is 272,701 person. This is now approximately 53.2% of our adult population that would have received a second dose vaccine. In terms of the 12 to 17 age group, first dose, we have completed 28,874, that's 39.6% of the age cohort, and second dose would be 20,075 persons, that's about 27.5%.
And the Ministry of Health is also encouraging persons above the age of 50 and those with underlying conditions who have already received 2 doses of one of the COVID-19 vaccines to get their second dose booster shot. Gold mining company Mohammed's Enterprise Limited has landed a $614 million contract for the construction of the new headquarters of the Guyana Fire Service. The new fire service headquarters is to be constructed along Homestretch Avenue close to Durban Park. The contract for the construction of the Fire Service headquarters was signed today by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, May Thomas, and the Managing Director of Mohammed's Enterprise, Nazar Mohammed. This is the second major contract awarded to Mohammed's Enterprise by the Home Affairs Ministry. Earlier this year, the company was one of 3 companies that won a $1.2 billion contract for the reconstruction of prison lots at the Lusiknan jail. In a statement today, the Department of Public Information indicated that the construction of the new fire service headquarters is set to begin by the 1st of December and should be completed within 14 months. Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben, who attended the signing of the contract, said the relocation of the Guyana Fire Service and Ambulance Service will help increase the emergency response timings, given that they will be away from the heavily crowded and congested Stabroek Market environment. There have been calls for years for the fire service headquarters to be relocated. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc. Mobile Special and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Sol Guyana Inc.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come get your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever wear that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
I'm feeling it! You know it? That Christmassy feeling? Friend, I'm ready for everything. All the decorations and lights. Bring on all the Christmas goodness. And I heard GTT is giving away millions in cash and prizes for the season. It just doesn't get any better. Multiple draws, multiple chances to win, live radio giveaways of cash, grocery vouchers, phone credit, and more. Free data, free calls, and free accessories with the purchase of every handset. Sign up, top up, pay any GTT bill or purchase a handset to get a chance to celebrate with GTT and MMG. Together we celebrate, together we win. GTT, together we rise.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Nicaragua has announced that it is lifting the visa requirement for Cuban nationals in a move which could make it easier for Cubans to migrate north toward the United States. Nicaragua's Interior Ministry said in a statement it was immediately establishing a free visa for all Cuban citizens to promote commercial exchange, tourism, and humanitarian family relations. While Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega has aligned himself with the Cuban government, its citizens previously needed visas to visit the Central American country. In 2014, during the immigration crisis along the border between Nicaragua and Costa Rica, the Ortega government prevented Cubans from passing through its territory, a move many analysts considered a favor to Washington. But relations between Nicaragua and the U.S. have deteriorated sharply. Earlier this month, the U.S. government said Nicaragua's recent elections, in which Noriega was re-elected for his fourth consecutive term, were illegitimate. Immunocompromised residents in the Bahamas will have access to booster shots of coronavirus vaccines, according to the country's health minister, Dr. Michael Dervell. The decision follows global public health trends and recommendations, including the Pan American Health Organization. The health minister made the announcement ahead of the weekly cabinet meeting. He said the government has been planning to roll out the third dose for individuals who are immunocompromised, adding that the government has been reading the reports from the CDC in the US, and they have realized that many countries around the world are now offering the booster doses. As part of its COVID-19 vaccine guidance, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said last month that immunocompromised people can receive a booster dose of a COVID vaccine at least 6 months after completing their primary vaccination series. While third doses continue to be administered in the US for Americans, a booster shot for an immunocompromised individual could be a fourth COVID shot. In the Bahamas, residents have been offered 2 COVID shots by the AstraZeneca and Pfizer vaccine and 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And finally tonight, international news. Gun manufacturers have urged the U.S. court to dismiss a Mexican lawsuit that holds them responsible for the violence inflicted by drug cartels. Mexico is seeking billions in damages, accusing manufacturers of facilitating the illegal trafficking of weapons. The firms, including Smith & Wesson, argue that their sales are constitutionally protected in the U.S., calling Mexico's lawsuit a clash of national values. In 2019 alone, some 17,000 murders in Mexico were linked to traffic arms. Mexico's strict rules on arms sales mean they can only be purchased legally at one shop in Mexico City. Mexico says criminal organizations therefore buy thousands of weapons in the U.S. A U.S. department found that some 70% of firearms recovered in Mexico between 2014 and 2018 had come there from the U.S. Mexico's lawsuit accuses some of the biggest gun manufacturers of knowingly contributing to illegal arms trafficking and fueling bloodshed throughout reckless business practices. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.